Hey guys, I'm Sicsen and welcome to my newest video. So today I'm going to be talking about why I want top surgery and why I'm getting top surgery, because I know a lot of people are kind of confused on what the whole top surgery thing is, and I just wanted to clarify it and why it's the right choice for me. So right now I'm filming this on August, I believe it's August 9th. I don't know, but I'm not planning on releasing this until when I'm in Florida, because I'm leaving for Florida to get top surgery on August 12th, and I'm gonna be there for a week until like August 21st or 22nd, and then I'm gonna be coming back, and I'm not really planning on filming videos and editing while I'm there, so that's the reason why I'm pre-recording this, so that you guys have something to watch while I'm recovering. So the day that this is gonna be going up will be a couple days after I have actually gotten top surgery, because my surgery date is on August 14th. So it's literally less than a week away. Like, that's crazy to think about. It's 5 days away from where I am now, and I'm gonna be flat by the time that you're watching this. So I just wanted to talk about what top surgery is, and then kind of talk about like my reasoning for getting it and whatnot. So for those who don't know, top surgery is basically a surgery that trans masculine people get in order to alleviate dysphoria from their chest. So dysphoria is basically feeling like you are not in the right body gender-wise. So for me, I feel like my body should have been more masculine than it actually is, and that's why I'm, taking testosterone. That's why I'm going through this surgery, and it sucks because if I could have been happy being a girl, then I would have taken that 100%, but I didn't want to live my life being unhappy, because I had been, contemplating like, oh, am I trans? Am I like, what's the deal with me? Because I know something was off, but I just didn't want to accept it, because I knew that transitioning was a very long, expensive journey, and it's very hard on the person going through it as well as people close to that person. So it took a long time for me to actually accept the fact that I am trans, but before I even accepted that, I knew that I did not like my chest. So there are a couple different types of top surgery, and I'm only talking about the top surgery that's for people who are trying to remove their breasts, because say for trans feminine people, they would want to get boobs. Like, I mean, it's kind of the opposite, but I feel like it's kind of easier to transition surgery wise male to female than it is for female to male. And the only reason I'm saying that is I'm only focusing on the surgery. I'm not focusing on like hormones or anything, but like in order for female to male people to get a flat chest, most of the time you're gonna have to have huge scars. And I mean, honestly, that's not really a huge deal to me, but it's a pretty big downside, because for me personally, I want to look as normal as possible. Like, I just want to look like a normal guy, and having two really big scars on my chest is probably going to be a dead giveaway to the fact that I'm trans or just, not normal. And I know I shouldn't really think that way, because like, what even is normal? But I mean, I do think that way, and I'm trying to, stop. So the amount of scarring that you get when it comes to top surgery really depends on the size of your chest beforehand. So if you have like a pretty small chest and it's not likely that there will be a lot of like, extra skin, then there are a couple different ways of surgery that'll result in like pretty much no scarring. And I believe those two are called peri-areolar and keyhole. I think those are two different things. I'm not totally like an expert on this stuff, because the most that I've looked into is double incision, which I'm gonna get to in a moment. But I believe for peri-areolar, there's like a small crescent shape incision like right around the nipple, and that's where, everything is sucked out. Like, I'm trying not to be too graphic, but like, I mean, this is surgery, like, and so if you have a small enough chest, then that could be a possibility for you. And I think keyhole is the same thing, only is an entire circular incision and not just half of a circle. And then there's like, liposuction and stuff, and there are a couple complications with that. I think more complications than with double incision, and I'm not really sure why that is, but some people opt to do double incision even though they are candidates for peri or keyhole, and that's because they don't want to go in for any revisions later on. For me personally, I knew that I was definitely not going to be a candidate for peri or keyhole just because I know my chest size. I know that I would definitely have like, you know, deflated balloons down there if I went with peri, and I'm pretty sure no surgeon would even consider giving me peri or keyhole just because I don't have like a huge chest, but it's not tiny either. So I fall under the category that most people fall under, which is double incision. So double incision top surgery is kind of self-explanatory. Like there's 2 incisions made like right along here, and then kind of they just take out like a little chunk of skin, I guess, and then they, you know, take everything out and then stitch it back together so that it's flat, and they take the nipples off and graft them where they would normally be if I was a cis male. It's pretty gruesome, I know, but I'm going through with it. Of course, I'm gonna know a lot about the whole procedure. They also most of the time put like drains like right here around your armpits, and you're supposed to keep those in for a week just to drain out like all the fluid and stuff, I guess, all up in here. I'm sorry, I think I should have put a warning like at the beginning of this video saying that this is not really for the faint of heart. But yeah, this is what I am currently going through as you're watching this. So recovery is probably not going to be super easy, but I mean, it's definitely going to be worth it. And yes, with double incision, you are going to have 2 big scars, and those scars will fade over time, and sometimes they become like not even noticeable at all, but they are going to be there. So I'm just preparing any of you guys who think that I'm going to magically have like a perfect chest like any other, you know, cis male, because it's not going to look like that, and it's going to look pretty beaten up for the first, you know, couple months, just because I mean, like, it's major surgery, it's really invasive, and it's not 100% guaranteed that everything will go well. I'm really hoping that everything will go well, but sometimes there are complications, like sometimes the nipple grafts won't stay, like your body will reject them. And I know actually personally some people who have gone through the surgery and their nip fell off, and honestly, like, it's an aesthetic thing, the nipples. I'm trying to look at the positive side. If one of my nips falls off, then I can at least, you know, fix that later on, but I'll still be flat, and I don't have to, you know, walk around with my shirt off anytime soon, and I can get a nip tattooed on or something. I don't freaking know. But now I'm gonna talk about the reasons why I actually want this surgery, because I just made it seem like something that no one would ever want to go through. But trust me, there's a lot of people who would go through this just to alleviate the chest dysphoria. So for me, I have been chest binding for a long time, and if you don't know what that means, it's just like, in order to make my chest appear mostly flat, I have to wear like a compression garment, and it's very uncomfortable, but it does make my chest look flatter in, you know, shirts like this. But after a long time of binding, your ribs can actually like become deformed from it, so that's not great, and I don't want to be binding for the rest of my life. So I was really looking for an opportunity to get top surgery as soon as possible. Luckily, I was able to make an appointment, and my dad helped me out a lot with that and with paying for everything and stuff. So I'm really lucky. Some people have to wait a lot longer than I did, but just because I am getting it sooner than other people doesn't mean that I deserve it any less or anything like that. There's no required amount of time for somebody to have to wait in order to, you know, get a surgery or go on hormones or anything like that. Like, if I want to do that, if I'm trans and I know that that would help me live a better life, then I should be able to do that at my own pace. So my relationship with my chest has never really been good. As soon as it started developing, you know, when I went through puberty, I just felt very uncomfortable, and I hated the idea of wearing a bra. Like, I actually expressed this to my parents and stuff. I was like, why do I have to wear a bra? Like, that's not fair. Boys don't have to wear bras. And they're like, well, get used to it because you're gonna do it for the rest of your life. That was really hard for me to accept. I started developing a little bit earlier than anyone else, and that just, you know, added to the discomfort, and I just felt like I was in the wrong body, which, I mean, I was, and I still am. I used to try a bunch of different things to like make them smaller. I thought that if I, you know, continued to wear a bra, like even when I was sleeping, then they would go away, which is totally not true. I don't even know why I thought that. But of course they didn't go away, and they became what they are now. And so I just was like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna have to live with this. So for a long time, I just accepted it. I wore, you know, kind of baggy clothing. I mean, I went through a phase in like middle school-ish where I just wore like the same like 5 Aeropostale shirts, which were kind of, you know, form-fitting and everything, but that was like the style, and I just wanted to fit in and feel normal. But I always felt like exposed whenever I wore anything form-fitting, and I just felt like I shouldn't look like that. So I think like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I started really just having a bad relationship with my chest, and I couldn't stand looking at myself in the mirror without a shirt on, and I just thought that I looked horrible, and I didn't know what to do. So obviously, like around that time, I started, you know, hearing more about transgender people, and I didn't think that I was trans at the time, but I was like, okay, I'm not trans, but I definitely don't want boobs, so what can I do about this? And that eventually led me to buy a binder, my first binder, on Amazon from like some freaking place in China. If you search up like chest binder on Amazon, then that'll probably still come up. It's like this Chinese company that sells binders that are really not that high quality, and they sell them for super cheap. And I was like, oh, that's so cheap, like let me buy it. And so I did, and they like clipped on the side, like over here there was just a bunch of clips, and it did flatten my chest way more than anything I ever had before. Like I used to use sports bras and stuff to make my chest a little bit less noticeable, but that was not enough for me. And so when I finally got that binder in the mail and I wore it with like a t-shirt, I felt like me, like I felt like how I was supposed to be. And I knew that it wasn't 100% flat, and the binder that I got was super uncomfortable and like didn't really bind correctly, but I didn't know that at the time. Like I didn't know what I was doing, so I used that until it stretched itself out. And I didn't use it every single day because I mean like it was freaking uncomfortable and I felt like I couldn't breathe, but like I used it, you know, whenever I wore anything like a t-shirt or something like that. And after that one got stretched out, I got another one from the same company. I had been using that same one for a long time, up until like the beginning of this year. So I really only had 2 binders that I used because I didn't really know what I was doing, and I thought that if I stopped using the binder for a while and pretended to be a girl, then everything would be okay. So there was a point in time, like pretty much all last year, that I was trying to, you know, be the girl that everyone thought that I was. Like, you know, I grew out my hair, I started wearing more feminine clothing. I actually went through all my clothes and threw out like any clothing that seemed androgynous or male, just because I wanted to like fit in, and I wanted everyone to stop asking if I was a boy or a girl, because I was asking myself that. I wasn't ready to come out as trans, so I wanted everything to stop, so I, you know, faked it for a while. And then when I finally realized that I am definitely trans at the beginning of this year, I was like, okay, I need to get myself a better binder. So I got a binder from Underworks, and it was super tight, and like I felt like I seriously couldn't breathe, but it made my chest like this, like completely flat, and I was like, oh my god, like this is perfect. And for a couple years before that, when I was, you know, binding, I was like, I saw people who had gotten top surgery, and I was like, you know, that would be amazing. Like I want top surgery, but for some reason I thought that I would never be able to get it, because I thought that I would continuously be living my life as a lie, and there's no such thing as like, you know, in between or whatever. And so to me, top surgery was kind of like just in another life. But when I finally came out as trans, then I realized that like top surgery could actually be something that I could get in the near future. And that just like was so exciting for me, because I couldn't stand binding. Even when I wore my tightest binders, like I still was uncomfortable because I felt like it wasn't completely flat. And I mean, it isn't completely flat. Like it is very flat, and it's probably not really noticeable to anybody else, but to me it was noticeable, and I just couldn't stand the fact that I, you know, like couldn't walk around without a shirt on like a typical cis guy and stuff like that. So that's why I really started looking into top surgery. Like I had, you know, dabbled in it a little bit before, but now I was just like totally ready. I was like, I need to find something as soon as possible, because I really just don't want to live like this anymore. And that's how I found Dr. Charles Garamoni, which is the person who did my surgery. And this doctor is in Florida. And I know you're probably wondering like, why the heck would I go to Florida for top surgery when I live in Connecticut? And it's true that there are like a bunch of, you know, surgeons close by, but the reason that I chose Dr. Garamoni is because he is basically like a specialist in top surgery. That's the only thing that he does. He does like 500 top surgeries a year. And so I've seen his results, and they look amazing. Like for getting your boobs chopped off, his results are amazing. Like the scars are straight, it looks symmetrical, everything looks great, or like, you know, as good as it could be. As for the surgeons around here, like pretty much all of them were just general plastic surgeons and they did like top surgery on the side. Like they didn't specialize in it or anything, and that doesn't mean that they're, you know, not good at it or anything. That just made me a little bit worried, and what made me more worried is the fact that I could barely find any before and after pictures of top surgery from them. So I really did not want to walk into some surgeon's operating room blind, not knowing what my chest was going to look like after, because I did not want to have to spend all that money for something that was going to be botched. So that's my reasoning. I just really wanted to go to somebody that I trusted, and I know a lot of other people like on YouTube and stuff who have gone to the surgeon, like for example Ash Hardell. They're a YouTuber who has like a bunch of subscribers, and right after I found Dr. Garamoni, I watched Ash's top surgery consultation video, and I realized that they were getting top surgery with Dr. Garamoni as well. And so I was like, okay, then that definitely means that I am on the right track and making a good decision, because if Ash is choosing them as their top surgeon, then I should be totally fine. And since then, Ash has gotten their top surgery and I think everything went completely well. So it's been really interesting watching that process and everything, knowing that I'm going to be going through it as well soon. So I was really lucky. There was a cancellation for August 14th, and I would have most likely had to wait longer, but I didn't have to because somebody canceled and I was able to make my appointment a little bit early. So that's how I, you know, was able to schedule my top surgery so quickly. A lot of this is happening very fast and I'm so excited about it, but some people don't really think it's a great thing, but I'm just honestly really excited because the sooner the dysphoria goes away, then the better. So this video was just kind of all over the place. Like I didn't have a script or anything, but I just wanted to talk to you guys about top surgery and what I'm going through. So currently, as you're watching this video, I will have been, I believe, 3 days post-op. I'm probably, you know, bedridden and I won't be able to lift my arms above my head for a while or work out. So that kind of sucks, but it's all temporary. I'm really hoping that everything will go well. And so thank you so much to everyone who's been supporting me and everything, because it means a lot. So if you have any more questions or if I didn't cover something, then please just message me or leave a comment down below and I'll answer. Anyways, thank you for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.